The Steelers have traded superstar wide receiver Antonio Brown to the Raiders. The Raiders gave up a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. All the Steelers got for Antonio Brown was a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. And I've seen headlines like, who won the Antonio Brown trade? Was it the Steelers or the Raiders? And I go, are you insane? Like, what are you talking about? The Raiders got the best wide receiver in the entire NFL basically for free, for nothing. It's unbelievable to me that anyone would even ask the question. Of course, the Raiders won the trade. The Steelers are idiots. I don't know what they're doing. If you look back at the last 6 years, Antonio Brown has 9,154 yards, 686 catches, 67 touchdowns. He is a 7-time Pro Bowl wide receiver, and he's only 30 years old. I just don't understand what anyone was thinking. Why would the Steelers give him away for so little? Especially at the same time. So today, Odell Beckham Jr. was traded away. A 1st-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and a starting safety. Earlier in the year, we saw Amari Cooper get traded for a 1st-round pick. The best wide receiver in all of football didn't even get traded for a 1st-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and a 5th-round pick. That's a terrible, terrible trade for the Steelers. And it's a really, really good bargain for the Raiders. Now, it's worth noting the Raiders did re-sign Antonio Brown. They gave him a new contract, 3 years, $50 million, $30 million, fully guaranteed. But you know what? When I look, here's where my brain goes after the Antonio Brown trade. I just remember last year when the Raiders traded their best wide receiver, Amari Cooper, away for a 1st-round pick. I just don't understand. In what world is Amari Cooper worth a 1st-round pick and Antonio Brown is only worth a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick? I just don't understand. A guy who has less than 100 catches is worth a 1st-round pick, and yet the best wide receiver in all of the NFL, I don't know. The Steelers did terrible. It's great for the Raiders. If you're a Raiders fan, oh my goodness, they got the deal of the century. It's unbelievable. And I want, Raiders fans, if you're watching, please, I want you to go back one more time to your memory banks. Again, let's think back to last year. Do you remember last season when the Raiders traded away Khalil Mack for 2 1st-round draft picks? And everybody went ballistic. Everybody freaked out. Said, John Gruden is ruining our roster. Well, since becoming the Raiders head coach, John Gruden actually has done nothing but make really, really amazing trades. Think about it. Amari Cooper for a 1st-round pick. Khalil Mack for 2 1st-round picks. Now they traded for Antonio Brown and only gave up a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. I just look at it. I think the Raiders have a plan. The Raiders are on track to be a really good franchise. They have a quarterback, Derek Carr. They now have the best wide receiver in the NFL draft. They have 3 1st-round picks in the 2019 NFL draft. They have 2 1st-round picks in the 2020 NFL draft. It's been reported that they signed Trent Brown, a left tackle from the Patriots in free agency that makes their offensive line better. They signed a safety from the Rams, LaMarcus Joyner. Their defense is better. I mean, man, I just look at the Raiders. They're building something. I'm convinced the Raiders head coach, John Gruden, is not an idiot. The way we talk about John Gruden, the way everybody seems to be, the Khalil Mack trade, the way everyone reacted to that. Oh, my goodness, you can't give up this great player. I think with hindsight, everything's working out. It's okay. Again, great quarterback. They made their offensive line better. They got a safety, got the best wide receiver in football, 5 draft picks in the 1st round of the next 2 years. I don't know, man. And Antonio Brown, by the way, is great. He's really, really great, not only for the Raiders on the field. I think he's good for their locker room as well. John Gruden said this. He said that Antonio Brown is the hardest working player he's ever seen at practice. And I think that's great for their culture. And if you don't believe me, if you think Antonio Brown's a diva, fine, he is a little bit. But look at him playing on the field. The way he's developed over the years, it is very, very clear. Antonio Brown is probably the hardest working guy in the NFL. I agree with John Gruden's statement. His work ethic is a product of everything you see on the field. It's just obvious to me. I do not believe Antonio Brown is bad for the Raiders locker room at all. I think he's going to bring a lot of competitive spirit to practice and really make them better as a team. I mean, 2018 was rough for the Raiders. Let's be honest. They went 4-12. They were last in their division. But it was also the beginning of something. I think the Raiders are on the right track. Last year was rough, but it kicked off the beginning of building their new culture. I think Raiders fans jumped way too quickly on the panic button. They just said, "Oh my gosh, John Gruden's awful." They freaked out. I don't know. I mean, in 2018, the move they did, trading away Khalil Mack, made their team better for the future. Last year they traded away. I mean, this year in 2019, they have the 4th overall pick, the 24th overall pick, the 27th overall pick, 3 first-round draft picks, and now the best wide receiver in the NFL. Their offensive line is better. They got a safety. They have a quarterback. They have a really good head coach. I like their general manager, Mike Mayock. I think the Raiders' future looks really bright, and they're absolutely on the right track and headed in the right direction. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. And I want to ask for your help. I want this show to grow. I want more people to watch and more people to listen to this podcast. My dream is to do this show as my full-time job. I want to own it myself. I want to do it on the internet and have complete control. I don't want to do it for CBS or ESPN. I don't want to work for a big network. I want to own it myself. And if you believe in that dream, please do me a huge favor. Help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast. Share it on Facebook, share a link on Twitter, maybe you screenshot it, put it on Instagram. I don't have a marketing strategy beyond this. This is all I have. A lot of people, one of the most common comments I get on YouTube is, "You have great content. We love your stuff. You deserve more viewers. What you should do is you should buy ad spaces on Facebook or Twitter or promote yourself and buy ads." I have no money. I am a broke college kid. I can't buy ad spaces. I don't have money to pay for books. And so my plan, this is my marketing plan, this is my strategy. All I plan to do is put every ounce of effort I have into making the very best podcast I can. I believe if I make a great product that people believe in, that people like, then they will share it with their friends. And so if you agree with that, if you believe in the show, if you like what I do, please do me a huge favor. Tell your friends about it. Help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast.